Hey guys, you're watching Chaotic TV. We're bringing you the third game of this best of 5 series between these Terran and Protoss from IEM Katowice. This is the fourth match of the quarterfinals. In the top right on Daybreak, we have the red Terran. He was blue in the last game. He is playing for Team LGIM. He is Yoda. His opponent in the bottom left, we have the blue Protoss playing for Team SK Telecom T1. He is Parting. I think it's just SK Telecom 1, or maybe something like that. Anyway, Parting is kind of up 2-0. It's not kind of, he's absolutely up 2-0 in this best of 5 right now, so it's really on Yoda's lap to do something different than he has done in the last 2 games, which has been very greedy economically, going for a third command center just as Parting moves across the map with different timing pushes. In the first game he did 2 Colossus timing with a number of sentries and their force fields, and in the second game he did a proxy robo timing with just a sheer number of gateway units, and the map itself gave him such an advantage just because he was able to use a much wider opening on the main as opposed to on, I want to say, what was the first game we saw? Cloud Kingdom, where there was a much smaller choke in which he had to push his Colossi through, so it was probably very maps specific which builds he used. He's seems like a player who really plans stuff out. These players have, during their 16-hour days of training, they have plenty of time to plan what works on each map. Yoda right now is going for gas first, which is something we saw in the last game. He went for a little bit of a tech difference from the first game, where he went gasless until he got his third command center up. In this game, we'll see if he decides to go for more Banshees like he did in the last game. They really didn't pan out because he ended up having to use them defensively as opposed to offensively. And I mean, he killed a great number of stalkers with them or something like that while they were cloaked. But as the energy ran out, there were more stalkers coming in, so it just got wiped out right away, as well as an observer from that proxy robo. So it's really on Yoda right now to do what he can. He's checking right now for forward pylons, and will eventually end up here, as we saw the mouse cursor from Yoda right next to Parting's little proby. There's a great wall off I like right here, really closed off, and this will eventually probably be, yep, he's going to build a pylon right down here in the back. This is an anti-Hellion defense here, in case Yoda went for reactor Hellions, which he's not doing just yet. He's going for a command center. It's not atypical, even when you are down in games, to go for a command center quickly on this map. It is such a large map, which is why it's favored by all 3 races. But this, as I was saying, is an anti-Hellion defense because they get choked here, and they really can't get enough shots off quickly by running through the mineral line and killing enough probes. They can get choked off, and all of the whatever gateway units that Parting has at the time, he can either force field off and protect all his probes, or just simply go for the safety net. Parting has a defensive sentry here right now. He'll be able to wall this off in case of an early attack by Yoda. Yoda coming in with a little bit of pressure. He's trying to fight off this one stalker that Parting has thrown out at him every game. And the first game he came out with a Zealot and a Stalker. In the second game he came out with 2 Stalkers and faced a little bit of bunker action until he pulled back and he went for that timing push that we saw. Parting has taken a, oh my god, a 3rd command center already for Yoda. He is definitely going for that orbital command setup, and Parting is going for a robotics facility, and he's going to use this observer to really view what Yoda has for him. 2 gates already, and when this warp gate finishes, he will probably build on another number of gates and continue the build-up of armed forces that he has while he continues to probe up and fill out this mineral line. One of the command centers is being moved, of course, and it looks like we're going to have more bio play out of Yoda right now. He's taking on a 2nd gas. He's probably going to add on a factory as soon as he gets a little bit more minerals and gas going. But he is a bit behind right now, even on the harvester count, which hopefully he'll catch up with, having these 3 command centers. I don't actually like the rally point on that one. He should have it sent down here now that he has a landed command center. We finally have some Marauders coming out. He's actually going to need these Marauders depending on what's there, but Yoda is being scouted the whole way through by Parting's observer right now, and this thing will eventually see that there is another base down here. The Xel'Naga Tower is taken by Yoda's forces, and looks like there's going to be a bit of an immortal push on Parting's point, at least to do some early damage and see what he can do with it. If a lot of these pushes that these players do in these professional games, you see that they're kind of just trying to put on pressure, but they end up turning into kills a whole lot of the times. He's sending out a probe right now to do an early forward pylon. Let's see if we can't spot where he puts it. He has not pre-clicked it, I suppose. Nope, it's just sitting there. Usually you see one right here or even up here. Oh, there it goes. It's going to be right there. It's going to be in clear vision of that Xel'Naga Tower right now. That Stalker's doing what it can to really block off what's going on up here. And if he can get some decent force fields behind this, he might be able to snipe off a whole bunch of these Marines before they ever get home to the 3 bunker setup that is going on right now for Yoda. This might actually be enough for him to hold on. He's already pulled some SCVs, building some backup bunkers so that he can retreat his Marines in there, but he's got enough sentries right now that he can force field off a great deal of these units. Oh, that is a great pick off of that observer. That is a huge blow for Parting right now, not having that higher vision. And he's trying to bait some of these sentries out so they can get sniped by a stim pack of Marines. Actually, there's not a stim pack yet. It's about to finish. And a great force fields off, blocking all of these SCVs from repairing. He's going to be able to snipe these bunkers with the Immortals, and that's exactly what they're supposed to do. He's trying to run them back. That's a huge amount of force fields, just blocking off these 5 Marines, and a huge amount of the SCVs were killed. 6 SCVs were killed, actually, excuse me. But he's just going to continue to wait and continue to warp in a bunch of tanking zealots while he has enough time to put force fields down on this Marauder-filled bunker, and he's going to be able to snipe the bunker, and he's going to be able to take the Marauders out right behind it. But Yoda, I think he's got enough here to hold this. There's not as many force fields as you would want to see as a Protoss player right now. He's got about 5 left, but that's not enough for the 3 bunkers that are there. You saw how he spent over 8 of them right here, and another 4 right here. So he's continuing to take the supply lead, but Yoda is right behind this, building concussive shells, and to hold off for even the slice. But the SCVs are still doing what they can. Their whole bodies are blocking the zealots from getting to that main base, so they're getting sniped off by the stim Marines and Marauders, and there's no tanking left for Parting, so he pulls back and warps in another couple of zealots. The Marauders' increased range by being in that bunker is a huge benefit to Yoda right now. He's able to put that concussive shell, when it finishes at least, on these units, and then he would actually be able to take them out quicker than that. I don't know why I completely flubbed that sentence, but he's going to push forward and try to take out this pylon, but he is completely force fielded off. I don't know what's going on with me right now. Force fielded off, and he loses one Marauder at the same time. Parting right behind this is just kind of econing back home. You can see that he dropped 2 forges and starting his Colossi attack, and he is actually going to pull back on this. As I said, this is a pressure attack. It wasn't meant to be a kill, and he's able to. Ooh, that's a pretty decent force field. You saw how quickly those were put down. That is pro play right there, sniping out 4 of those bio units of Yoda. Yoda is down 10 supply right now in the army. That is quite a bit actually, but since he's got those bunkers, he's doing just fine. I'd say he's down in army supply, but he's really not. He's down in harvester supply. Behind this, Parting has been chrono boosting out double. Ooh, we've got a nice little drop coming down here. I didn't even actually see that happening. How many probes has he killed? He's killed 6 probes on his own. He spotted that there's Colossi tech coming down. He's already got Vikings coming out as a response to this. This medevac will probably get sniped if it's very unlucky. It looks like Yoda's going to be the one to push out and kill off this final remaining pylon, and see that there was a zealot there the whole time. So he's got enough medevacs right now. He's starting to put out some Vikings to dial those Colossi. He's starting to up his upgrades right now. 1-1 are coming down for both players, so there's going to be a good deal of similarity between these 2 armies. There is another starport coming down, which is a great idea for the Terran player. You always want to have multiple starports, especially when you're fighting Colossi, because you need to be able to produce those reinforcement medevacs as well as the Vikings in a higher account, and you can actually get that Caduceus reactor if you put on a tech lab as opposed to a reactor on that second starport, which gives your medics even higher healing energy, so you can stim more often and be fine in a longer engagement. But what we're going to see probably out of Parting, a lot of reaction to those Caduceus reactors. is when people go for a Templar, and then the beginning of an engagement, when there's fully charged medevacs right there, a Katowice reactor gives them enough energy to be fed back, I guess, and completely destroy the medevac within one shot. So that's the drawback of having a Katowice reactor. But LGIM Yoda's production is kind of through the roof right now. He's able to take the lead in the army supply right now, and he's going to be the one who puts on a little bit of pressure. There's 4 Vikings here. He's trying to snipe off some of these Colossi. He's probably going to be able to get at least the one, and there it is. Great force fields are going to be able to protect him, and Yoda is not smart to run up here through these force fields. He's continuing to be forced off, and these 2 Vikings are, sacrificed 2 Vikings, and he was able to get the last Colossus. There are Immortals here, which are going to pose a decent problem, but he's going to kill these rocks and continue expanding the range of this ramp, so that if he tries to force field off, he's going to have to use a lot more than that. There's a Templar on the field right now, but they don't have Storm yet, and Parting is doing his level best to hold off until he does get that Storm, because his Templar are sitting there waiting and gaining up that energy, and if he runs around the side, Yoda's going to be able to try to snipe this 3rd base, but looks like Parting is going to move all of his units. No, he's not going to use. He's probably going to lose his 3rd base since he's not moved his units over there already. He's just going to sack this base. He's running the probes out right now. The Vikings are coming around here to try and flank whatever Colossi comes out in the mix. There's another drop in the back of his base right now. He's taking out as many probes as he possibly can, trying to cripple that economy of the very intense playing Parting is everywhere at once, just like Yoda. That's the problem with dropping against Protoss. They can just reinforce with some warpins, but the medevacs are low in energy right now, and Yoda needs some reinforcement. Medevacs, he's only got the 1 right now, and he needs to allow them to get some energy right now. I keep saying right now. This factory is kind of blocking that barracks. That would actually bug me as a player, but his 3rd base is down right now, whereas Parting's, I did it right now again. His 3rd base is down, and Parting's is not anymore, since he's able to snipe it. The Vikings are kind of just hanging out here until they see another Colossus, but it looks like there's been a tech switch of a little bit to these Templars, so that they can indeed go for that Templar Storm, and Yoda continues to use this brand new quick path that he has. Is he going to scan and see this observer? It doesn't look like it. The fact that the Zelnaga tower doesn't show hidden units is kind of lucky for the Protoss player, and Yoda's going to see that there is a 3rd base right here. And Parting has how many Templar out on the map right now? He's got 6 Templar. That's actually a decent number of storms, especially that looks like a new Templar. How much are these? These are full energy Templar, or at least have 2 storms, which is all you can get out of a full energy Templar, because they no longer have that Kidaran amulet where they would get 3 storms instead of just 2, so you have to cast 2 and then wait for 25 in-game seconds to get that third Templar Storm available. I don't know why he just... Did he stem forward? Is he going to see the shimmer? Is he going to scan and see that there's coming in right now? There are only 3 Immortals here right now. There are a huge amount of Marauders. Oh my goodness, that is a crazy amount of Marauders. He's continuing to stem them. Not exactly sure why. Oh, he was just sending off a number of them just to start scouting. Parting's going to be the one who pushes in right through this middle, and he's going to pull back a little bit. The number of Marauders against this number of Zealots is actually not... I don't think it's in Yoda's favor. Yoda is set for an anti-Immortal Stalker, but since he's going Immortal Sentry Zealot mainly, he's got... Does he have charge legs? He does have charge louts. He doesn't have blink stalkers, so he doesn't really need... Oh, some great storms going down on the Zelnaga tower. And he's... 1 medic is going rogue, 2 medics are going rogue. I guess there's misrallied across the map. Some great storms, defensive storms right now, and Yoda would do... has to do his level best not to run through them. See, there's the feedback that you see on... Oh, on a Ghost this time, not actually on a medevac. Because he is continuing to bait these storms out with smaller groups of units, and the Zealots actually can't do anything against this huge amount of bio until that force field actually worked against the Zealots right there, continuing to get picked off. So great storm down on those medevacs and on the units underneath them, taking out the Archon. He sniped it on purpose, and Parting is running back to his base with a lesser supply lead. If he was able to scan right now and see that there is an observer, he would be able to snipe it and blind the Protoss player. The Protoss player is going for a 4th right up here, or at least continuing to reinforce some Templar coming in, and the Zealots are being misrallied across, I believe. He's going to be able to snipe them off right now. Parting's going to come back down with his reinforcements. He's going to be able to, now that his shields are recharged, and there are no Ghosts in the mix right now. There are 3 ghosts. I don't see any EMPs going down. Great Storm's feedbacks on all of the medevacs are keeping Yoda from reinforcing, and there are so many Marines and Marauders dying to this push right here. There, excuse me, the feedbacks on those medevacs, and this one's actually going to snipe because it continues to misrally them across the map. Yoda is going to be the one who has to go home. The feedbacks kept Yoda from being able to stem, and the Ghost didn't have some decent EMP, so Harding is in the lead, and these Vikings continue to be made even though there are no longer Colossi on the map. So he would actually do well to stop that production, go for the mostly medevac heavy composition until he gets more Ghosts out on the map. Scans that there is nothing there. The Colossus is saved by the target fire of those stalkers, but there's going to be some storms on the main. Oh, 3 great storms knocking out that entire group of bio units. LGIM Yoda is down 40 supply right now, and Harding is looking to kill. He notices that he's not going to go anywhere, and Yoda taps out with Harding takes game 3 and the best of 5. So from Chaotic TV, we thank you for watching. We're going to bring you the first best of 5 of the round of 4 in just a second. Cheers.